All right, good afternoon, everybody. I want to congratulate Sam Darnold coming off of his performance the other day, recognized the NFC Offensive Player of the Week, playing just fantastic football for us, and just hoping we can continue supporting him and watching him go through these weeks, preparing the right way, and it's showing up on Sunday. Excited for Monday Night Football. With the the whiteout at US Bank, I'm sure it'll be absolutely electric. Just want to take another opportunity just to highlight what it was like on Sunday to have that kind of environment and atmosphere. Was next level, fantastic by our fans, and we're going to need it. 60-minute battle with an NFC North team that we've got to play well. They're very talented, and you can already see Thomas's impact on their team. So we're going to need to put together a really good week of preparation. Got an extra day. Got to use it, putting the pads on today, and we'll get ready to go.
What has changed with the Bears with Thomas in charge, if anything?
I just think knowing the type of leader and human being that Thomas is, you're going to start to see the principles of Thomas come out in their team. So they're going to be tough. They're going to be prepared. They're going to turn it loose and play fast and physical for 60 minutes, and we've got to make sure we respond to that and continue with what we've really been searching for, which is December football, being our best football, 60 minutes a team, football in all three phases, everybody having a positive impact on our chance to win football games.
What went into doing a full pads practice?
You just only get so many by the rules here down the stretch. So with the extra day, knowing that we can get some good physical work in here on a Wednesday and still have a good amount of time to turn these guys over, slow down the pace tomorrow, and then have two good full speed days on Friday and Saturday.
Kevin, how will you handle the injured guys like Joe Moore and Pat Jones?
Yeah, today there'll be a few guys that we'll either take limited work or we'll hold some guys out based upon where they're at coming off a Sunday and or as they work through their timelines. Both those guys will kind of progress throughout the week and see what they're able to do as we get towards Friday and Saturday, and then just be smart about getting them out there if we can. We'd love to have both guys. If not, we know we've got guys that can step up.
Where's Taki Taimani at? Is he somebody who could come back this year?
Yes, yeah, he's a guy that could come back. Just continues to work through kind of the latter parts of his rehab, making sure he's 100% healthy when we need to call upon him.
You've been bullish on this team since before training camp. When did you see this thing possibly coming together the way it has this season?
Yeah, I thought we had a good spring. You never really know with how the rules are, during that teaching phase, but I just felt like the pieces that we had and the way we could kind of schematically sync up, hopefully enhancing the best parts of our team and also, some of maybe the bigger question marks that were out there. I had a lot of confidence in our coaching staff. I had a lot of confidence in our leadership that if we just handled our business and continued to kind of understand through the journey of the season, if we're attacking it every day and just getting a little bit better, that builds confidence. The competitive side of training camp, I do think it was physical. I think that helped prepare us to get off to a fast start. And then we've had some guys just with really, really outstanding performances and growing confidence in each other, all three phases, win in different ways while not ever allowing any of that adversity to affect, our team in any way, shape, or form. Guys just keep playing. Next play for 60 minutes, and like we went to Chicago, we needed a little bit more time, but we just keep playing. And then you just worry about the next day, and don't look too far ahead. Make sure we're correcting things, coaching hard, and trying to just challenge everybody to do whatever their individual part is to try to help this team maximize what we're capable of. And it's really been like that from the jump. New challenges, new teams, different phases of the year. Our guys have been a pretty mature team about taking that message over and over and over again to now it's just kind of our way. And it's been successful for us. So we're going to keep chasing it, and a lot of things we can continue to improve on as coaches and players, and that's what we're trying to do.
Kevin, you talked about having a big coaching staff and the benefits that come from that in terms
Yeah.
of player-to-coach ratio. Where do you see that show up in terms of benefits for players in terms of development?
Yeah, I think you see it show up a ton in the off seasons, training camp, when guys really feel like an individual aspect of their training and their development and their feedback that they're getting real time, whether it's during a walkthrough or practice or in the meeting room setting. And then throughout the year, the player development side of things, the post-practice work that maybe guys that aren't taking part in the games on Sunday, but there's an individualized program for every player to try to maximize, what they can become, not only if called upon right now, which we've had plenty of examples of that this year, but also guys that we're projecting that growth well into the future. It's an individualized thing. I challenge all the coaches, and those assistant position coaches have a massive role here of on-field, on-the-grass coaching that I think is super valuable, not only for the player, but, I think back to my journey, that's valuable coaching experience that will only make all these guys that much more confident, convicted, to really show up here every day trying to help players get better.
Who kind of takes the lead in individualizing all those player plans? I mean, who puts those together for each player?
Yeah, so we have a pretty good system set up where all of our support resources kind of can come together, whether it's Tyler Williams, Josh Hinkst, Jasper and Arkeem in the player development space. We've got nutrition. Derek Keys plays a big role in that, kind of making sure he's heavily involved in each aspect of bringing those groups together. And then there's always a tactical fundamental from a standpoint of playing the game of football that we're trying to really laser in on, hey, what are 3 things? What are 1 or 2 things? You don't want the focus during player development to always be this massive scope of so many things. You want to try to get better at certain things that we can identify. And then once you have the emphasis on something, now you've got, the accountability factor and that personal responsibility of, hey, I'm getting coached. I've got support. I've got resources in every nook and cranny of this building. I love being here. So why not go maximize what it means to be a Minnesota Viking? That's kind of the global plan of not only player development, but our whole roster. And we try to live by it and just, there's no sense talking about it if we're not going to authentically be that every single day. But good question.
When you play a team or game plan for a team second time in a short amount of time,
Yeah.
like this, do you have to fight against overthink sometimes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think.
What are you gonna do this time?
Yeah, I think the cat and mouse game that everybody plays schematically as you get later on in the season. There's a ton of inventory, but yes, we just played this team, three games ago, and what were the things we could do better just globally as a team. I thought there was some real ops in the game, either early with the early turnover, or just when we had, we go up 11 and we have the momentum in the game, we give up a long return, and then that turns into an opportunity for them to get the points that they needed late, which they did a great job executing late in that game. And just the experience factor of our team understanding all those little things that gave them an opportunity to stay in the football game and keep fighting and competing, which they did a great job of, but ultimately having to go find a way to win it in the end, which we were comfortable doing. But, you got to anticipate some schematical changes. You got to anticipate, how we're going to play the game. We didn't have J.O. the last time we played. What does that look like in the run and pass phase? And then ultimately, what does our tape look like now? Because in a lot of ways, 4 quarters or 2 games is an eternity from a standpoint of adding inventory of things either we've done or maybe new ways that they played Detroit or San Francisco. So, you can tell by that answer that you could really go both ways with it, from the over-analyzing to maybe not being prepared enough for the type of changes in schematics that you could see. So it's our job as coaches to be prepared for both scenarios, and we want our players to have ultimate clarity and go play fast.
Kevin Flo yesterday talked about the importance of joy in coaching, and I think that probably shows up in the way the guys celebrate. Why joy? Why is that important in your mind?
Yeah, I just, the ultimate goal is to compete. Compete being the first thing we always want to make sure our guys do. But I do believe, you guys have heard me say this, that a positive energy is a true performance enhancer, especially when you're playing 17 games. Ask these guys to grind every single week in their preparation. Like, that 60 minutes should be the culmination of hard work, but it also should be a great opportunity every single week to put on display our way of doing things, which is, we enjoy our success. We enjoy being, in the trenches, fighting it out to try to get wins. And when we do, either post game in the locker room or post play, when a turnover happens or Jets or Jordan catch a touchdown. Like, I want those guys to have fun. I never have any idea what's happening in those moments, so I kind of simulate the fun, I guess, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do in those moments. But I want our guys to have fun. Don't want to single them out, but showed the team Byron Murphy's celebration. It was, very, very well done. But Bo Richter was kind of like me in a lot of ways. He didn't really know what to do in the moment and kind of went through the full spectrum of decision making. Very similar to what I do, on the edge of a dance floor at a wedding, trying to figure out if I'm going to truly commit to this or not. I think Bo made a good decision in the moment. But as he told me today, he's got something planned. So even Bo Richter's ready to rock and roll, and can't wait to see it when it happens.
Kevin, the level of pass protection that you guys have gotten from Cam Robinson and
Yeah.
what he's able to do against a guy like Judon, how huge has that just ability?
I mean, I don't know many teams that can lose one of the best left tackles in football and win 6 straight, and that's a total testament to what Cam's been able to come in here and do. Chris Cooper and Sean coaching him, the other 4 guys, Blake next to him from a communication standpoint. It's been kind of something that even me sometimes when we're game planning, we're like, we're not really thinking about the fact that we, don't have Christian Darrisaw in there as great and as special of a player as he is, because we were able to find a guy like Cam Robinson to step in, and I think he's done a great job, kind of that perfect balance of, like, it's still chaos. There's still a lot going on because this is all brand new to him after playing, essentially for your one team his whole career. Now he's playing, against opponents we're playing. He's obviously playing next to new players, hearing new cadence from Sam, totally new offense, and yet he still can play with technique and fundamentals and physicality and play style. So I'm glad you asked, and I think it's great to highlight what Cam Robinson's meant to our organization and just how great of a fit he's been for us because of him, because of what he's brought and the type of player and teammate that he's been. It's been fantastic for us as a team.
Kevin, as a play caller, how much have you felt the benefit of just the continuity working with Sam throughout this season and what that's meant for you?
Yeah, I think it's been huge. I mean, the dialogue before, during, and after these games, we've tried to truly, operate in a way where we're kind of the extension of how I've answered a lot of questions about our team or the season or how we've kind of gone about it. It's a surgical process leading into it. It's making sure Sam feels total comfort. We haven't had many plays, but we've had a few where the red pens come out and it doesn't get called because, he doesn't like to play, and we got plenty of them. So every week I'm hoping there's more and more. Hey, let's get rid of them. Makes it easier to call the game. But then it's the during the game dynamic of the coached quarterback system, Josh and Grant with him on the sidelines, and then ultimately the post game of finding uncovering every stone to just make sure that, hey, we're using every 60-minute opportunity for Sam to maximize it, but then how do we just take it a little further, a little bit more comfort, clarity, and then make sure we all understand Sam is wildly talented. He's making some unbelievable big-time throws and plays, and I think as he continues to ascend and get more comfortable, I don't, defenses are going to try to do things every week to make him uncomfortable, but where he's at in his season and in this system, I have a ton of confidence that Sam's just going to continue onward and upward.
What's been your assessment of JJ's McCarthy's time in this development
Yeah.
program you created? I don't know if it's time to assess it yet or not, but what have you done so far?
Yeah, I think he's been, really, really good, staying true to, the priorities that we put in place. And they've kind of changed now as he's turned the corner and really getting to a place where he's healthy and now can be more about the physical side of things moving forward. And he's starting that process and kind of in the middle of it right now. But I think the off-the-field work, the role in the quarterback rooms, my time, I know this, and when I meet with him one-on-one every week, he's got great questions, and they're very in-depth and really shows me a guy that's learning not just the top layer. He's really trying to consume a lot of information as if he was playing. So it's been great to hear that. And then, I just think about the resources we have globally, talking about player development. He's got a bunch of them. He's maximizing them. And we've got some new things we're trying out from a from a VR standpoint and different things. I'll let Wes get into that, but ultimately it's a setup that I'm proud of, and I'm proud of the way JJ's handled it, and now everything's out in front of him.
Just from the play action standpoint, Darnold's been really, really excellent statistically. Was there some point just along the way for you as a coach where you kind of learned about those, somebody you worked with, and came to understand kind of how those operate?
Well, I just think it's the core foundation of what we do is the play action pass is what are you doing in its purest form? Yeah, you're throwing the ball, but you're trying to at least essentially simulate conflict and runs, whether you have that exact run in or you've run it in a previous breakdown and you know that people are carding up certain things that we do. So how do we put defenders in conflict where they have a gap, a responsibility in the play pass phase, but then also a coverage responsibility. And then we've done some things this year where within the concept we're trying to put coverage defenders in a bind, whether I'm covering this guy, but really what was this guy, bait release patterns and things. There's a lot of kind of nerdy stuff that goes into it, but when you see it come to life in a way that makes it easier for Sam to just throw and catch, that's objective completed, and it doesn't always work out, and that's where I think he's been really good, putting the ball in play, avoiding negatives, checking the ball down, and we've reaped the benefits of some yards after catch from him doing that, keeping us on schedule, and then we've got our whole playbook at our disposal. It gets difficult sometimes, like even the other day, we had some a lot of things in the play pass world we ended up leaving on the sheet because Atlanta did a nice job beating some blocks one-on-one in protection on those early downs, and you go from momentum driving to now you're kind of trying to get back on track or survive a sequence instead of being in attack mode. So there's always some ebbs and flows to that, and you might have to adjust and alter, go to a little bit more of a tempo game, go to a little bit more of a different personnel game. That's what I think our team's kind of grown at, and what I'm trying to grow at is just having multiple paths in game to get the same result. And maybe it might be different. You can't script a game. You got to react. You got to adjust, and we got to find a clear path to having success. And that's what I think our whole group kind of is maturing together in trying to do.
Kevin, go back to something you said. There's only been a couple times where he's taken the red pin and said, I don't like this play. What would go into a quarterback saying, I don't like that play? Is it the look? Is it what he's asked to do? Or?
Yeah, it could be. Honestly, it could be a variety of different things. It might be previous experience, against an opponent, or previous experience with a similar concept where, he maybe said previously, hey, I don't really like that concept. So what do we do as coaches? We try to dress it up and call it something different and try to sneak it around, hey, 2 weeks later, maybe he'll forget. And then right about the time he recognizes what we did, hey, I don't really like that one. And he got us. But no, it could be a variety of different things. And maybe it's just, some hitters at some baseball stadiums, have the batter's eye, it hits them differently, and they hit really well at Petco Park or wherever it is. Like, I would equate it to that. Some plays, just as great as we may feel that the concept is, or hey, this is attacking everything we think we may see, it doesn't hit his brain, it doesn't hit his vision. So why call it? We'll just be coaching it up on Monday and wishing we didn't call it. We got plenty of plays and great players to get activated and involved. So that's the most important thing for me, is I never want to call a play that a quarterback doesn't feel really excited about when it comes into their headset. It's bad enough they have to hear my voice the whole game, but to hear my voice with a play they don't like, that doesn't sound very fun. Thanks, guys.